Hickok 45 here. You don't mind if my pet shark and I smoke a little pot, do you? I'm gonna get him. Yeah. Can't let him hit the ground unmolested. Woo! Oh! It shot the top off. Perfect. Yes, the MAKO, the R7 MAKO from Kimber. As I understand, the MAKO is a shark. I don't hang out on the beach a lot, but that's what they tell me. So it's named after a breed or a type of shark because it bites, or it can bite. And so this is the second one we have had. Okay, before I forget, I hate to forget to tell you that. And we requested one, I don't know, and shot it. I don't know how many rounds I put through it. Shot it 2 or 3 different times or anything, but I had so much trouble breaking it down. And I thought something was wrong with it. And I read the manual, looked at videos on how to do it. They're very difficult to break down anyway. That there's a Glock-like, control there where you pull it back and you get those down, and it's really difficult to get them down. And it doesn't want to come off sometimes, but then it does. It's just kind of random. But the other one was so random, and John and I had gotten it off maybe a couple of times, but then we couldn't repeat it. It was not repeatable, even doing it properly. So you send it back to Bud, said, look, get us one that works. This one's a little better. Still difficult, very difficult. It's one of the negatives. There are positives and negatives with this firearm, as with every firearm in your house and in mine. In my pocket, on my belt, or on your belt, right? So we're going to point that out. That's what we do, the negatives and positives. So I'm starting with a negative there just so I don't forget. That's what we do. If we get a gun there's something about it that I don't want to do a video with this thing. It won't work. It's happened maybe 2 or 3 times. We've let you know, when we get one that does work. And okay, because anything can happen, one gun. And so we let you know. And I just did. And this one too is difficult to break down. I don't know if they all are, but I kind of think they are, at least in terms of grabbing that little lever and getting it down far enough to get this off. And it's different from a Glock. It comes kind of straight up and all that. But anyway, enough about that. Didn't want to neglect to let you know that. Yeah, and while I was thanking people, let me thank the Federal. That's why we're able to shoot this thing and throw lead downrange and copper. Appreciates Federal Premium's assistance, and the Sonoran Desert Institute, sdi.edu, distance learning school, great place. Use your GI Bill, get a certified in gunsmithing. You can get some work done, and just firearms technology in general. A lot of coursework, how to checker a stock, and work on muzzle loaders. Just lots of different things there. So check them out. Appreciate their help. So we've been shooting this, John and I both, and you will notice also, I don't want to forget that, I can't forget, that's why I have it out here. I took that off. I think most of them may come with that already installed. There's a battery in the bottom. It's the Crimson Trace red dot, RMR, whatever they call their version of it. And I took it off the other one as well when I was shooting it, and I took it off this one. I thought about leaving it on this one. We've done a couple of videos with RMRs on because I don't do it very often, and some of you really like them. But I don't like them. I'm sorry. I might eat my words in a year, and I can't see, and I might have to have one. But really, until that happens, I don't see me changing. It's just me. I don't like them, okay? On a carry pistol, on a defensive pistol, that kind of thing. And so I took it off. I didn't want to treat the firearm unfairly. That was really a lot of the reason, because I didn't want to be, bad mouthing. Where's the dot? I can't shoot this. I don't like it. I wanted to keep that out of the equation and just compare it with whether it's a P365, Glock 26, or whatever I might compare it with today. I just wanted apples to apples, and the red dots it's just a totally different sight. Which is one reason I don't have them on my firearms. I'm sure I could practice with them and shoot just fine with one, but then I pick up another gun, I don't have it on there. And I do have several firearms, so I've always felt that way about sights. I like consistency on sights, on all my firearms for the most part, okay? All right, so here you go. So the plate comes with it. I took that off, and and you install that, of course, and it's not a problem. You have a normal firearm, okay? And this gun sells, I think, for about $600 ballpark. You can look up the price, you know, maybe $7, you know, depending on the, if this is on there, I think it's closer to $7 MSRP if you've got the RMR on there, okay, the red dot. And it's not a really expensive one. I think it's only maybe around $100. There are better ones, I guess, probably even from Crimson Trace. I don't know, because that one comes on, I think, all of these. It might, or it's available. So you're talking about $600, $700, something like that price range, MSRP, I believe. And let me get into a positive or two, since I've started out with negatives. Trigger's unbelievable, very nice. Let me show you. Watch me hit everything I shoot at. Even that bear spray I used to get squirrels out of the action. Oh, I went off before I meant to. There we go. It has a nice light trigger. I forget. It's very nice. I mean, it's just, it may be, I don't know if it's the best trigger I've ever pulled on a striker fired pistol, but if it's not as close, recess just right there, it's a nice one. There's nothing negative about the trigger. If you've seen any videos on it or any write-ups on it, you know, you're not going to hear anybody probably criticize that trigger. So, you know, that's one of the big positives. The grip is pretty good too, all right? It's got a nice, is there an adjective? Frictionless grip. It's got a lot of friction to it, okay? And, you know, I like that. I like sandpaper. I like a rough grip sometimes, and that's pretty good. It's got a flat trigger. I like flat triggers. You know, it's got a rail there, proprietary rail. You know, and it is fairly melted. Okay, I'm positive now. It's melted. Look at that control there. It doesn't stick out and jab you. You know, you're not going to hang on anything or anything. It's got a little kind of. They claim that's to kind of keep your thumb down off the slide. You know, this little. You see that juts out a little bit. And it's probably true. However, if you're someone like me with a big hand, you might just try to use that as a thumb rest if you're not careful. That'd be the negative of that. And the mag releases are recessed. I kind of like that. You know, you're not going to hit that accidentally probably. And activate the slide or the mag release, right? You got an upper undercut there on the trigger guard. The barrel's crown. It's got night sights on it. You see kind of a U in the front. It's much like the Hellcat, right? I've got several of these out here. Yeah, much like the Hellcat, except you've got like 2 dots on the rear, but you got that same kind of sight picture, right? And that is the Hellcat, by the way. I'll do a little comparing. I won't wear you out with comparisons. So anyway, like I said, this has been out a while. You've probably seen a lot about it. We don't get in a hurry to get firearms. We wait till they're in the shops, and when they get there, we ask, you know, Buds will send us one when they get them in, and they're available to everybody, and us too. And I'm going to differ a little bit. I think what I've seen, what I've read about it, I'm not sure I consider it a micro 9. I really don't. I got my scale going today. I'm having a problem with my scale. It only is showing grams. I don't even know what a gram is. I'm used to ounces, you know. But I got it. I even wrote it down, and I can almost remember it though. I'm pretty smart for a Kentucky boy, because in my shooting the other one, I kept thinking, wow, this thing is heavy. Yeah, it's heavy and it's kind of big, you know. And I think I tried it in my P365 pocket holster and some things. Hey, there's no way it's going to fit. And so anyway, this go around on this one, I got out some other guns like this one. I carry it a lot. This P365 XL. Okay, this is the big P365. You know, what was it? I forget the 12 plus 1. You know, yeah. So 13 rounds. And this, let's get a 13 round mag here. Put in, there's a 13 round mag. And just do a little comparison here on size, because that's what we do. We just want to show you how we think they shoot and give you a good size comparison and weight, an idea what they're like and what they're similar to, what they're not similar to. And then you can go shoot them, rent them at a range somewhere and make your own decisions. But you see, it's really the same length as the XL SIG P365. The grip and, you know, and everything basically, you know, except the XL is a little thinner. It's not as heavy, okay? And I even got out the Glock 26. In a lot of ways, the Glock 26 really, I got this mag loaded. There's nothing in the chamber. I'm gonna put it in just so you'll see the size and everything. But now let's get apples to apples here a little bit more. Let's get the regular 10 round mag. Yeah, 10 round mag. No, it's an 11 round mag. These are 11. Okay. And it's just a little longer than the 10 round Glock mag, so that makes sense. Yeah, so, but you know, those guns are the same size, basically. You know, this one actually protrudes a little more. And also, if I remember my scale, my Kentucky math, converting grams to ounces, had to look that one up. According to my sharper image scale, which is only doing grams these days, this weighs 22.4 ounces. Okay, so it's almost 22.5 rounded. Okay, and this one is 22.4 or 5. Or no, sorry, this one is 21.4 or 5. Make sure. Let me reference this again. Yeah, 21.5 on the Glock 26. The MAKO 22.4. So you got an ounce difference. The MAKO is an ounce heavier than the Glock 26. I think a lot of people are maybe not aware of that, okay? I know an ounce is not that much weight, but it kind of, for example, the XL P365 is another ounce lighter than even the Glock 26. It's 20.4 ounces. So the MAKO is 2 ounces heavier than the XL version of the P365, just to give you an idea, okay? And they're the same size, basically, and length and all that. The regular 365, I go there, the Hellcat, they're basically 18.5 ounces. They're a couple ounces lighter than the XL, so 18.5. So when you're talking about the smaller micro 9s, the ones that really set this market afire, the Hellcat, the P365, the regular one, they're basically 18.5 ounces with an empty mag in them, okay? I don't know why manufacturers give figures based on no mag in the gun. Like, duh, oh, so this gun doesn't need a mag? That's kind of an essential part. Let's weigh your car without the engine, see what it weighs, right? So, yeah, that's with empty mag, all those numbers. So, you're talking about the counterpart here, basically, to the Glock 26, you know, basically the same with flush magazine capacity. You know, if we cut a little bit off that Kimber mag, it would hold 10 as well instead of 11, and you got even more weight in the Kimber. So that's for you. It's not to bash Kimber. It's just to let you know what you're talking about. If you're thinking, I'm going to go get me one of those micro 9s and one of those lightweight micro 9s and stick in my pocket, well, it'll work. It'll work. I saw somebody in a video shooting it out. He had the RMR on it and operating out of his pocket, which you can, you know me, I've carried this, but that's why I have a pocket holster. I can do it. I happen to have a really small gun today, the little 380, but yeah, I can carry a Glock 26, and if I had a holster, good pocket holster for this, I could carry that. It'd be a little heavier, but just, you know, it can be done. All right, so just to give you an idea that the size, the weight, and everything, and where it fits in the scheme of things with these popular carry pistols. I say pocket, but they're not pocket pistols for a lot of people. This one would be more of a belt pistol for me, probably, in that weight category. You're just getting up there. So let me shoot it now, all right? And that's not necessarily a negative. What do you get? It is for me. But what do you get with a heavier firearm, a heavier slide? You get maybe less felt recoil, don't you? And you know, that's nice. That P365 is going to have a little more jump to it than this Glock 26, isn't it? It's just it's called physics. You can't cheat it. You can't cheat it. Let's see if we can hit the gong. If it'll hit the gong, it can't be all bad, can it? There you go. Mess around going too low again. I was bringing it down. Let's try a buffalo over there, Mr. Bison. it will kill a bison. How about a 2-liter right here? I think it hit it and bounced off. It's some of that weak ammo. I mean, no, that's not what happened. Yeah, and it's a little bit of an interesting design. I'm not going to struggle with it and take it apart. Google frowns on that. They don't want me to teach you and show you how to clean your gun, you know, safely. But I would take it apart. We do that anyway sometimes. The barrel has a knob on the back end of it, and it goes up into the slide. It's one of the ways it locks up. It's kind of interesting. You know, you got the shroud over the ejection port, unlike most of these other firearms. You know, it's open on the top, right? That's kind of the way firearms are now. Well, not this one. And I understand one of the reasons for that was to keep the brass and dirt and everything from hitting the optic, because for y'all from Kentucky, you know, the optic sits right there. Oop, I had it backwards, didn't I? But it sits there, and you know, your ejection port right there, and the dirt and brass and everything, they get scratched up and dirty pretty quickly, and then you don't know what you're shooting at. You can't see what you're shooting at. But when that's installed, it does co-witness just with these sights, these iron sights, no doubt about that. And even though it did that, I adjusted the first one to where it's perfectly, you know, co-witnessing with them and everything, and I'd pull that thing up, and that's just too much. You know, get that off there. So I started looking for the wrench. And also, the way that barrel is configured is supposed to maybe reduce felt recoil, they think, or they say. And it also lowers the amount of barrel tilt. And I don't know that that's that important, but it does. You know, it does. Look at that Glock. Barrel tilts a little bit more upward when you got the slide back, you know. If that matters, you know, there's nothing more reliable than a Glock, but anyway, that's what they say. It makes it stronger, more rigid, of course, you know. So it does look a little odd, doesn't it, on a modern firearm like that. So that's something that's kind of different. Got true glow sights on it, tritium sights come with it. So it's a nice package. It's not cheap, of course. It's a Kimber, and it's a nice package. So I don't have any preconceived notions really about Kimber. After they came out with that really nice revolver, which I bought, I own, you know, I was anxious to see one of these when they were out there on the market and just see what they did. And this is what they did. It seems to be a nice gun. The serrations are good, triggers are excellent. It's just that for my purposes, you've heard me say this many times, if I'm going to carry a belt gun, it's probably going to be it could be this, but it's probably going to be like a Glock 19 or a gun like the Glock 19. Go ahead and get a little bigger, and you know, because on the belt it definitely doesn't really matter much. And if it's a pocket gun, I want something smaller. You know, that's a lot smaller, or this, you know, or the regular P365. You know, generally speaking. And this is kind of big. The slide is tall, you know, it's just kind of tall. So, you know, some people will like it, and I hope they do. The more the merrier. I have a mag loaded. I'll shoot a little bit more. Trigger is just heavenly. And yeah, sweet. Those are blanks. I finally got that rascal. Let's get this. So I'll load one more mag and shoot it here before it gets dark on us. So it's a Kimber. You know, they're known for quality firearms. You may have trouble with some of their firearms. Known for 1911s, aren't they? Widely for a long time. And then you know, they came out with that revolver that surprised everybody. It was, I mean, not that everybody was expecting junk. It's just when a company has never really made revolvers, you know, I don't know, it's just like, okay, I wonder what this is going to be. Be like if we got news that Daniel Defense was making revolvers all of a sudden, and their first release is next week. Now I'm joking. Don't everybody call Daniel Defense and ask him when that revolver's coming out. We would all think, oh, really? I think Colt, Smith & Wesson, and a few others already figured that one out. Why are you doing that? You know, so we'd be interested in seeing what they did. And I was with Kimber, and they did a really good job on that thing. Many of you know that. You have them, just like I do. So, so I was anxious to see it. So quite honestly, it seems like a quality firearm. It's I guess it's an innovative design in some ways, the way that barrel locks up and everything. But it's probably not one I would purchase, okay? But that's just me. What does that mean? That should mean very little to you, because it might be exactly what you wanted. You would like a firearm this size, a little heavier. It would mitigate, you know, recoil, that kind of thing. But John and I shot the Glock 26. That's why I had that mag load. We were shooting it, and maybe I'll do that again. I'll load both these. I'll get them both hot, okay, and shoot them together. Since they're in the same weight class, even though the Mako is heavier than the Glock, and we were trying to figure out which one we think has a little more like recoil, felt recoil. And I'm not sure we ever reached a conclusion. Let's just shoot that tombstone. We'll go back and forth. Keep it hot. No. I don't know. I think the Mako actually is a little snappier than the Glock 26. Maybe the slide being a little higher, John was pointing that out. I think that's the reason, possibly. It's not dramatic, the difference, but yeah, it's a little jumpier than the Glock 26, but it's minimal in terms of the difference. Okay, it wouldn't really matter if you're shopping for these two guns, you know, for a defensive firearm. So, you know, it's got nice features, kind of state-of-the-art. Got a little palm swell there. It fits the hand well, nice and grippy, good serrations, phenomenal trigger, phenomenal. And if you're hitting well with it, it's because you got a great trigger. That does affect the accuracy, not the inherent accuracy, really, but the way we shoot them. You know, that type of accuracy. I hear a lot of people, I read articles and people talking about how the firearm's less accurate. He was disappointed in the accuracy. Just the other day I was reading on some firearm, disappointed in the accuracy of it. And I was like, it was some gun. I was like, what? That gun? Inaccurate? Wow, I never heard that before. But then he got into the trigger. It was because of the trigger. And okay, I understand that. In other words, he was not shooting it as well because the trigger was not all that good, in his opinion. You know, but as far as the inherent accuracy of the firearm, what it would do in a ransom rest and a vice type device, you know, that's what I think of, you know, as accuracy. But I guess you got practical accuracy and inherent accuracy. So there it is, in all of its splendor. You get the red dot with it, crimson trace, basically, I guess with all of them. I'm not sure how they're packaged now. And you know, you might love the red dot. It co-witnesses, and it's right there and ready to go. So you do have to take it off to change the battery. The battery's on the bottom of it, but you know, it's not a problem. Pull those two screws out. Even I figured that out. You get a little wrench in the package with it. Okay. So you know, it's just kind of an interesting looking gun. I'll tell you one thing about it. I noticed the slide racks pretty easily, and maybe if you and you got good grip. So if you are a weakling like me, you know, you might appreciate that. You can get that slide back maybe a little bit more easily. Okay, and that's kind of it. You know, and again, you may not like the way I compared it, but it's just heavier than a P365. You know, this is the one that started the fire on these firearms, but it's, you know, like roughly 18.5 ounces. You know, this one's roughly 22.5 ounces. That's a big difference. Some of you folks that are not from Kentucky could figure out the percentage difference there, right? So may not bother you one bit. The bottom line is, how well does it shoot, and how well do you shoot it, and how well does it fit your purpose and how you want to carry it or keep it or whatever you want to do with it. Okay. So that's all I know to tell you. Okay, just look up the specs, anything I didn't tell you about it, and you know, go to a shooting range and try it out. Try it out. Try all of these out. So many guns, so little time, so many great little 9mm out there now, and they're very, very popular. You might not like them. You might be a 45 man. That's all you ever shoot. That's a lot of what I shoot. But there's a definite gigantic niche for these. Is that contradictory? A gigantic niche, but there is a huge market for these, right? And that's another one. The more the merrier. More the merrier. I hope another 10 come out. It's not late to the game, right? We hope to see more. The more the merrier. Somebody might eventually have one that comes out that is exactly what you want. You know, exactly what you want. You know, like this trigger, you know, with this grip, you know, and these sights, or, you know, whatever the perfect combination is for you. So I'm going to shut up and let y'all go, and I really appreciate you coming out. Appreciate you supporting the people that support us, and did I think so? Everybody is great to us, and we don't deserve any of it, but we'll take it. Life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. You know, really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com, and also while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's Hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.